So I'm Ambassador of Kazakhstan Yerzhan Kistafin. This is my very first visit to your beautiful city of Saints. So yesterday I met with the Commissioner of Multan. Then we met with members of the Multan Chamber of Commerce. Then I visited BZU University, and we had great discussions. So I see that there is great potential to develop cooperation with southern Punjab, with Multan, and we invited to send a delegation from Multan to visit our country. This year, at the end of next month, we are going to launch direct flights from Lahore to Almaty, and hopefully we will be hosting a delegation from your city, from your region, to Kazakhstan. There is a great scope for developing cooperation in agriculture, in textile. We want to develop direct interaction between our universities, and we are also thinking of establishing twin cities with Multan. So it's very important for me to be focused not only on developing cooperation at the federal level, but it is also important to establish good connections at the level of regions. Because after all these contracts that we sign, agreements that we sign, they are implemented on the ground. And this is why I'm here today, and this is my very first visit, as I said, hopefully not the last one. And Punjab province in general, it's well known that it's one of the most developed provinces of your beautiful country, and this is why we will be, hopefully we will be establishing a very special relations with the province of Punjab. Last year we opened our honorary consulate in Lahore, and last month we have opened our Kazakhstan house for the first time in the history of our bilateral relations. And Mr. Rao Khalid Mahmoud Khan is our honorary consul, and he's dealing with different issues. The main mission of Kazakhstan House is to provide a wide range of services to each and every Pakistani who wants to develop cooperation with my country, be it in culture, tourism, sports, business, education, so on and so forth. It is also extremely important to develop cooperation and to establish direct interaction with the media community, with you, my dear friends, because you are, I would say, the main connectors with communities. And this is why we are also developing cooperation between our media communities. For example, people from the PTV, they visited Kazakhstan several times, and we are going to establish cooperation, sign MOUs between our leading TV channels to exchange TV programs, news, TV shows, movies, so on and so forth, to raise awareness of our communities, of our peoples about each other. Two main issues that I'm focused on, lack of information and lack of connectivity. With lack of information, we are dealing quite well, and as I said, we are going to launch direct flights soon. We have established safe routes to deliver goods between our countries to boost our bilateral trade. And lack of information, in this term, I believe that your role is extremely important, and you can contribute greatly into raising awareness of our people about the opportunities that we have, in our countries. We are neighbors in the same region. We are brotherly nations, and we are not far from each other. As soon as we launch direct flights from Lahore to Almaty, the flight duration is 2 hours, almost the same like Islamabad and Karachi. So yes, we're very close to each other, but unfortunately, due to some circumstances, we lost this connection and we do not know much about each other. But I think it's absolutely doable. We can fill the gap, and I hope that this year will be another breakthrough in our bilateral relations. If you have any questions, I will be more than happy to answer. Thank you.
So what is Kazakhstan government doing to promote easy visa for tourists from Pakistan?
When it comes to our visa regime, I was focused on facilitating visa regime for business people, and we managed to resolve this issue. Nowadays, if business people want to visit Kazakhstan to establish connections with the business community of my country, they just have to send a letter on my name, and within 3 days they will receive their visa. With regard to other categories, we are working on this issue, and this year we are going to hold the 12th session of our Intergovernmental Joint Commission, and we are going to discuss this issue. And I think that it's not a problem. What we need to do, we need to boost this interaction between our people. People-to-people ties is very important. As soon as our governments see that the number of people involved in our cooperation is growing, definitely I think this issue will be resolved.
Can you tell me your media model? How many news channels and newspapers are published from Kazakhstan?
In Kazakhstan? We have thousands of different medias working in our country, private owned, state owned, and we have English newspapers as well. A lot of opportunities for developing cooperation. And if you are willing to develop interaction with our media communities, definitely we will help you to establish communications with our media community.
He's the president of Multan Press.
Okay, good, excellent. So as I said, we are going to invite a delegation from Multan, comprising of officials, business people, academia, and of course we can and we should invite media community as well. Sure. Definitely. Yes. Inshallah. Yes, definitely.
As you see that Pakistan is facing energy crisis.
Yes.
What the Kazakhstan government is going to help in this field?
When it comes to cooperation between Kazakhstan and Pakistan, and not only our countries, but in general between Central Asia and Pakistan, I must say it's a kind of complementary cooperation, mutually beneficial. Why? Because you need energy resources. Central Asia is blessed. Central Asia is full of different energy resources such as oil, gas, uranium, coal, so on and so forth, and Kazakhstan as well. And back in 2020, our governments decided to establish a joint working group on energy cooperation. Minister of State, Dr. Musaddiq Malik, he visited our country several times. He met with his counterparts, with the Minister of Energy of Kazakhstan, and now we are working on exploring the options that we might utilize in terms of developing cooperation in energy sector. And I'm pretty sure that within the next few years we will be able to develop cooperation, and finally we will deliver our energy from Kazakhstan and from Central Asia in general to Pakistan. In common, we, for example, have such projects as CASA 1000, TAPI, and other projects which the main mission of which is to deliver energy from Central Asia to Pakistan. And again, as I said, we have to address these main challenges, lack of connectivity. As soon as we establish these safe routes to deliver energy resources from Central Asia to Pakistan, I think it will be easy.
What is the point of view of your country over the ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia? And what is the role your country is playing to settle this issue?
Kazakhstan was, is, and will always be in favor of peaceful diplomatic solutions. From the very beginning, we've been implementing so-called multivectoral foreign policy. It means that we are developing good relations with all the countries in the world, including China, Russia, the United States, the European Union. With all these countries, we have strategic partnership. And with Russia as well as with Ukraine, we have very good relations. In fact, we have common history. And this is why Kazakhstan, as I said, is in favor of finding a constructive dialogue. A dialogue is the only way to develop cooperation. A dialogue is the only way to find a solution to the problems that we face, including in our region, including this conflict between Russia and Ukraine. And our government, on regular basis, they urge both sides to sit and discuss and to find a compromise, to find a peaceful solution to the problem. Because, nowadays, I must say that the world is a big village. And even you, here in Pakistan, you feel the consequences of this conflict, right? So this is why we believe that each and every country in the world should understand responsibility for the future of the international community. And we are trying to, to convince both sides to sit, to discuss, and to find a peaceful solution to this problem.
I have a question for you. Thank you for coming to Multan.
Thank you.
As you know that we live in a food basket of Pakistan. We have a very huge shortage of fertilizer after the Russia-Ukraine war. So what is your country doing in regards to Pakistani farmers facing this fertilizer?
About what?
About the fertilizer shortage in Pakistan.
Fertilizers. So we are working, for example, with the Engre Corporation. In Kazakhstan, we have companies who are producing fertilizers. And what we want to do, we want to develop joint ventures. We want to develop cooperation in this very specific area. And I think that this year and next year, we will be inviting companies from Pakistan who are dealing with fertilizers to visit our country and to find possible ways to develop cooperation. Again, as I said, unfortunately, our peoples, including our business communities, know little about the opportunities that we have in terms of doing business, in terms of investment opportunities, projects, so on and so forth. So we will be inviting people, and I think that in this way, the best would be to give a say to the experts community, those people who are dealing with these areas. And they will be discussing it. I met several times with people from the Engre Corporation, and what they say that doing business in fertilizers in Kazakhstan, it's feasible. The only thing that we need to address is connectivity. They want to produce fertilizers in Kazakhstan, and then they want to deliver these fertilizers to Pakistan. So nowadays we are working on this issue with such big companies like the TCS, the NLC, and other logistics companies, and I'm pretty sure that this year we will resolve this issue.
What is the trade volume of between the two countries?
So,
and what is the difference between import and export of?
You see, the problem is this is another issue that we need to resolve. So according to your statistics, our bilateral trade is something about $200 million. According to 200 million US dollars.
Only.
Yeah.
Only.
According to our statistics, it is only 95 million US dollars. You see, there is a great discrepancy in terms of our statistics. So what we are working on, we are trying to develop cooperation, establish cooperation, direct interaction, direct exchange of data between our customs services. And this year they are going to sign an agreement on cooperation between customs administrations. And it will help us, and then having this exchange, we will have a whole picture of our bilateral trade. And we will understand what can be done, what should be done, what kind of areas needs more attention. And this is a very, I would say, specific area. The problem is that, till today we don't have any kind of direct interaction between our relevant authorities. This is the issue. And it is not only about customs. It is also about other relevant authorities. For example, in November 2021, we signed an MOU between the Federal Ministry of National Food Security and Research and Ministry of Agriculture. What we need first at the G2G level, we need to exchange information to understand what you have in Pakistan and what we have in Kazakhstan, and what can be done in terms of developing cooperation, what can be delivered from our country to your country, and what can be exported from Pakistan to Kazakhstan. This is why I travel to the regions on regular basis. This is my second day in Multan, and again I see great scope, great potential for developing cooperation. From your region, namely, we can deliver mangoes, guava, potato, many other agricultural products, textile industry. There are so many areas for developing our cooperation. So this is why, when it comes to our statistics, when it comes to our G2G level, government to government, the main mission is to create a friendly environment, to establish a legal framework which would help to the business community to develop cooperation. This year, apart from this customs cooperation agreement, we are also planning to sign the transit trade agreement, which will help us to boost bilateral trade. But I fully agree with you that even $200 million, it is almost nothing. Taking into account great potential that we have here in Pakistan and in Kazakhstan, 1 billion is a must. So whenever I meet with the business community, I always say that for me, B2B, it is not only business to business, it is also brothers to brothers and billions to billions. Potential is great. What we need to do, what we need to explore, we have to organize visits on regular basis. I'll give you another example. In November 2021, we organized for the first time Kazakhstan-Pakistan Business Forum. Only 35 people came to participate in this business forum from Pakistan. This event was held in Almaty. Very next year, in May, we organized a single country exhibition made in Pakistan 2022 in Almaty again. This time we had more than 170 applications. And we didn't expect such a big number of entrepreneurs who were willing to participate in our event. And more than 130 business people participated in this event. And what I see now that is that the interest is growing from both sides to do business. And we will be organizing such visits, sector-specific visits, regional visits. As I said, we are going to invite a delegation from Multan to explore business opportunities in our country. And through this interaction, we will be able to increase our bilateral trade. And of course, honorary consulates. Next month, we are going to open our honorary consulate in Karachi. And we are going to open our Kazakhstan house in Karachi as well. And after that, we are going to establish our honorary consulates in Peshawar as well as in Quetta. We should be well represented in each and every region of your country.
Even Multan.
Yeah, of course, in each and in big cities. So what we are going to do in Lahore? In Lahore, we want to establish a regional business council, inviting chambers of commerce of your region from big cities. I mean Faisalabad, Multan, Gujranwala, Gujarat, Sargodha, Sialkot, so on and so forth. We want to kindly ask these chambers to nominate their members as a part of our business council. And next month, we are going to organize the inaugural session of our bilateral regional business council of the province Punjab to sit and discuss what can be done in terms of developing cooperation at the B2B level.
Mr. Ambassador, Pakistan has highest rate of young population in the world. Youngsters want to, especially South Punjab, youngsters want to visit and for study in Kazakhstan. What being done of more opportunities for South people about study and job?
So it's well known that Pakistan is one of the youngest nations in the world. And we believe that if we want to strengthen our people-to-people ties, we should be focused on youngsters. And I'll give you some figures. Last year, we invited 1,500 young people from Pakistan to study at our universities. In fact, within 3 decades of our independence, hundreds of Pakistanis graduated from our universities. This is why last year we decided to establish the Alumni Association of Kazakh Universities. And in August, they are going to have their session upon the invitation of the Ministry of Higher Education of Kazakhstan in Astana. We will be inviting members of this association to visit Kazakhstan, to visit their alma maters, and to maintain their relations with our country. Now, when it comes to our cooperation in education, we are also developing direct interaction between our universities. For example, Qaidazam recently signed an MOU with Karaganda State Technical University. In January, they signed an MOU with university number 1 from our country, Kazakh National University. This is why during my regional trips, I always visit universities. As I said yesterday, I visit Bahauddin Zakari University. I visited some other universities as well. So the idea is to establish direct interaction between our universities. They are experts, they know what to do. So through this collaboration, we will be developing academic mobility to make our youngsters able to study at universities of both countries. What we need to do else, we have to sign an agreement on mutual recognition of degrees. It will help, to our graduates to find a job after, they finish their studies. So we will be developing this collaboration in education sphere, and I believe that education is a very promising area for our bilateral cooperation. And again, in the Kazakhstan house, we have an education department. If you have someone who wants to study at our universities, they can easily approach our Kazakhstan house in Lahore, and they will provide, all information that you need, and they will receive, everything, every possible help, assistance from our side. Yeah, please. Oh, sure.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. جیسا کہ میں آنری کونسل جنرل ہوں قازقستان کا، راؤ خالد مصطفیٰ میرا نام ہے، لاہور سے. جیسے امبیسڈر صاحب نے بڑی تفصیلاً سب گفتگو کی کہ کیا آئیڈیاز ہے. قازقستان سینٹرل ایشیا کا سب سے امیر ملک ہے. انڈیا کا سائز اس کا ہے، بہت سارے پوٹینشیل ہیں. آئل اینڈ گیس رچ کنٹری ہے، یورپین سٹائل ہے وہاں پہ لیونگ کا. میں یہ سمجھتا ہوں کہ بہت زیادہ اپرچونٹیز ہیں پاکستانی بزنس کمیونٹی کے لیے کہ ہم اس ریجن میں جو چینجز آ رہی ہیں ڈیو ٹو رشین یوکرینین وار، رشیا پہ سینکشنز لگی ہیں، نئے بزنسز آ رہے ہیں، یہ لوگ نئی مارکیٹیں تلاش کر رہے ہیں. پاکستان ایک 30 کروڑ آبادی کا ایک ملک ہے. اس کے علاوہ یہ پاکستان کے تھرو کراچی پورٹ اور گوادر کے تھرو یہ مڈل ایسٹ کی مارکیٹ اور افریقہ کی مارکیٹ تک پہنچنا چاہتے ہیں. ہمیں اس چیز کا فائدہ اٹھانا چاہیے. اسی طریقے سے ہم تھرو قازقستان رشین مارکیٹ جس پہ کہ سینکشن لگی ہوئی ہے بہت بڑی سینٹرل ایشیا کی اور رشیا کی مارکیٹس ہیں، وہاں تک ہمیں رسائی مل سکتی ہے ہمارے بزنس کمیونٹی کو. تو میں سمجھتا ہوں کہ ڈالر کی ڈی ویلیویشن کی وجہ سے بھی بہت سا پوٹینشیل ہے ایکسپورٹ میں. ہم قازقستان ہاؤس میں لاہور میں آپ کو ہر پاکستانی بزنس کمیونٹی کو ہم گائیڈ کر سکتے ہیں، پروجیکٹس آئیڈینٹیفائی کر سکتے ہیں. گیس بجلی وہاں پہ بہت سستی ہے. انڈسٹری کو یہ لوگ ری لوکیٹ کر سکتے ہیں یہاں سے وہاں لے کے، یا نئی وہاں پہ سیٹ اپ کر سکتے ہیں. بہت سارے پوٹینشیل ہیں بزنسز کے. ایجوکیشن کے حوالے سے یہ ہے کہ میڈیکل کالجز ہیں، 9 میڈیکل کالجز ہیں جو کہ قازقستان کے اپرووڈ ہیں بائی دی ہمارے HLC سے. تو پاکستانی بچے یا بیٹیاں جو پڑھنا چاہتی ہوں ہم ڈائریکٹ قازقستان ہاؤس میں اپروچ کریں، ہم ان کو ڈائریکٹ یونیورسٹیز کے ساتھ ان کا کانٹیکٹ کروائیں گے تاکہ یہ بیچ میں ان کو کوئی ایشوز جو ہیں وہ ختم ہوں. سیکنڈلی اس کے علاوہ دوسری ایجوکیشنز ہیں، بے شمار ڈپلومہ کورسز ہیں جو کہ ہم اگر آپ کو انٹرسٹ ہو تو قازقستان میں ہاؤس میں آئیں، ہم ڈپلومہ کورسز وہاں پہ کر سکتے ہیں بہت اکنامیکل پرائز پہ، بہت ہی کم قیمت پہ، بجائے اس کے کہ بچے اور بچیاں یورپ اور امریکہ جو کہ اب افورڈ نہیں ہوتا. تو یہ ایک بہترین اپرچونٹی ہے. یہ لوگ ہمارے مسلمان بھائی ہیں، یہ لوگ حنفی مسلم ہیں اور پاکستان کے ساتھ بہت محبت رکھتے ہیں. ہمیں اس چیز سے فائدہ اٹھانا چاہیے کیونکہ دنیا کی مور دین 50% پاپولیشن جو ہے وہ ساؤتھ ایسٹ ایشیا میں ہے. آئندہ کی تجارت جو ہے وہ اسی ریجن میں ہوگی، اسی ریجن میں ساری ٹریڈ ہوگی. تو آئی تھنک اٹس دا بیسٹ ٹائم کہ ہمارے بزنس کمیونٹی اس میں انٹر کرے. بہت اچھا موقع ہے. ہم اس کی ہر قسم کی گائیڈنس کے لیے، ان کی ہیلپ کے لیے موجود ہیں. ہمارے بچے جو پڑھنا چاہتے ہیں ان کے لیے اس وقت کوئی 150 اسکالرشپس ہیں جو کہ ہم پاکستانی بچوں کے لیے ہم نے وہاں سے کروائی ہیں. انشاءاللہ اس میں بھی ہوگا. کلچر ٹورزم کے حوالے سے بے شمار پوٹینشیل ہے. الماتی جو شہر ہے لاہور سے 2 گھنٹے کی فلائٹ ہے، تقریباً آلموسٹ اگر ہمارا $300 کا رہتا تو تقریباً کوئی 1.5 لاکھ سے کم کی ریٹرن ٹکٹ ہوگی. الماتی شہر آپ کمپیئر کر سکتے ہیں لنڈن سے یا کسی جگہ پہ بہت. اور ہماری کوشش ہوگی کہ آپ لوگوں سے एक डेलीगेशन जो है वो हम कोशिश करेंगे कि मीडिया के लोग, क्योंकि थ्रू आप लोगों के ही सब कुछ वो होगा। तो राना इकबाल साहब हमारे भाई, हम इनको भी इनकरेज कर रहे हैं कि ये फर्टिलाइज़र प्लांट जो है वो वहाँ पे ये लगाना चाहते हैं। तो हमने इनको भी विज़िट करवाना है राना साहब के, और इन्होंने एग्री किया कि ये फर्टिलाइज़र, तो इसके अलावा और बेशुमार इंडस्ट्रीज़ हैं जो कि वहाँ पे हो सकती हैं। हम उनको हर किस्म की हेल्प और गाइडेंस के लिए तैयार हैं। अभी एक इनका प्ले है, इन्होंने अपने हम टीवी से उसको डब करवाया, और लाहौर में हमने जो उनको जितने भी टीवी के एंकर्स थे उन्होंने कहा कि आप इसको कंपेयर कर सकते हैं आप टर्किश ड्रामे के साथ। तो इसी तरीके से पाकिस्तानी जो प्लेयर्स हैं वो भी बहुत अच्छे हैं, उनको वहाँ पे हम डब करके और उनकी मार्केट में हम कर सकते हैं। तो बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं इस तरह। कल्चर में, टूरिज़म में बहुत पोटेंशियल है, हमारे मुल्क में भी है, उनके भी है। तो हॉलीडेज़ के लिए आप फैमिली के साथ भी जा सकते हैं, बड़ी इकनॉमिकल हॉलीडेज़ हैं। तो एक नई दुनिया, एक नए आप चीज़ देखेंगे। तो ये लोग बाय नेचर बहुत अच्छे लोग हैं, ट्रस्टवर्दी हैं, ट्रस्ट करते हैं हम लोगों से, मुसलमानों से, पाकिस्तान से बहुत मोहब्बत रखते हैं। मगर हमारी आपस में इंट्रैक्शन नहीं हुई अनफॉर्चुनेटली, इतने करीब होने के बावजूद। तो ये तो आप लोगों का काम है कि थोड़ा सा इसको, और जी सर, जी 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 जी
तो आप यहाँ से लोगों को रोजगार के लिए भिजवाएंगे।
Also another opportunity
जो
has been created on CPEC route by the Chinese and Pakistani government. So they can, is there any possibility Kazakhstan join the CPEC as partner?
Last week, I think it was in last week, when there was a summit of Central Asia and China in city of Xinjiang, and President of China, Xi Jinping, he invited presidents of the Central Asian states for discussions. And if you have a look at the declaration adopted at the outcomes of this very important meeting, it was stated that China and Central Asia, they are interested in developing regional infrastructure, including from China to Central Asia and South Asia. In fact, Kazakhstan is an integral part of One Belt, One Road initiative. This idea was for the first time announced 10 years ago during the visit of the President Xi Jinping to Kazakhstan during his lecture at the Nazarbayev University. And it was made on purpose. Why? Because Kazakhstan is a very important part of One Belt, One Road initiative. Our land served for centuries as a bridge connecting east and west. And nowadays we developed a railroad connecting Western China with the European Union. And delivery time is 2 weeks in comparison to 40-50 days by sea. And it is well known that CPEC is also a part of the One Belt, One Road initiative. So it means that if we connect these two big projects, it will be a game changer for the whole region, not only for our countries, but for the entire region, including Afghanistan. Afghanistan can serve as a regional transit hub, and through development of regional connectivity, we will be able to boost significantly our bilateral trade, in general economic cooperation, our people-to-people ties, and finally to make our region successful on the international markets. And I do believe that CPEC is a very important part of this cooperation.
My name is Jahangir Khan and I'm representative of Associated Press of Pakistan, Yerzahan Kistafin. On cultural side, as Mr. Thompson is saying, that your country has produced some award-winning films. So do you see a scope between the two countries as a joint venture?
It is doable, absolutely. And now, as a first step, what we want to do, we want to bring our movies, to dub them into Urdu, and to air them on your TV channels. And vice versa, we want to bring Pakistani movies to Kazakhstan, to show them, what we have It will help, again, as I said, to raise awareness of our peoples about each other, to learn more about our culture, about our customs, about our traditions, about the current situation, so on and so forth. So definitely we will be looking at this area to develop cooperation.
Your Excellency, one question, Sajjad Bukhari, would you like to comment on the China and USA? Because there is major conflict on the CPEC and World Bank Frankfurt.
Yeah.
So what's your priority?
As I said, we are in favor of constructive dialogue. And when it comes to cooperation between Kazakhstan and China, as well as Kazakhstan and the United States, I must say that, for example, during the visit of our first president to the United States back in 2019, we adopted a declaration stating that we are going to develop strategic partnership. The same strategic partnership we have with the Chinese authorities as well. So when it comes to, in fact, Kazakhstan is neighboring China as well as Russia. So this is why we believe that if we have any kind of disagreements, if we have any kind of issues that create tensions, we should sit at the table and discuss. What is happening now between China and the United States, I'm not sure if it is going to be beneficial for any of these countries, even including our countries. So that's why we believe that only through peaceful talks we can develop our world.
So it means you are clear with the regional politics between the two blocs, USA and China, and the main role in this area is China role. You prefer to China, is that clear?
No. As I said, we are developing relations on equal basis with all the countries in the world. So we do not prioritize anyone. And we are not in favor of blocks. We had it in the last century when we had blocks. And it didn't, bring any kind of peace to our world. So this is why, as I said, we have to develop relations with each and every country in this world on equal basis, not prioritizing anyone.
What's your preference in Pakistan? Number one, number two, number three. Education, business, CPEC, what's
I would start from revival of brotherly relations. This is very important. It is extremely important. Why? Because if we consider each other as brothers, if we consider each other as neighbors, we will find the solution to each and every problem that we have. If there is a will, there is a way. So only this way we will be able to boost our regional cooperation. But all these areas that you mentioned, trade, education, are extremely important. All of them. I cannot hear you, sorry. Sorry?
How do you perceive the role of Pakistani diaspora in Kazakhstan?
Pakistani rice? I cannot hear you well.